Hello everyone, Tina here for Queen & Co. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Thank you so much for joining me. I have a fun couple of projects to share with you. We're going to make some shaker cards using the Queen & Co. Fall Fun Shaker Kit. This kit has almost everything you can think of. Fall, there's gourds, there's pumpkins. This is the die set here. Lots of dies. There is a sign that has a pumpkin patch. There's a cart. We have a piece that you can make a cornucopia with. There's a little girl with a sweater that you can create. I mentioned the gourds, the gourds, and there is pumpkins in here too. Lots going on in here. Today we're going to make even a mushrooms, a couple of mushrooms. We're going to make a pumpkin patch card, and then we're also going to make a card with some mushrooms. In this kit, these are all the dies. And then you also get some Fall Fun foam pieces to make your shakers. There are 3 packages in here, so you have enough to make 3 of each set. There's also the acetate that goes with it. You get a full 6x6 mat stack. This is the Fall Fun mat stack. There are 16 different styles of pattern papers in here, 3 of each design. You also have a stamp set that goes with everything beautifully. I love all the punny little greetings in here. You have "Let us be thankful," "I'm so thankful for you," "You are the pumpkin to my spice." Just lots of fun greetings in here. And then you get lots of toppings to fill in your shakers. You get, let's see, 2 different shades of teal or blue. You get green. There's a couple of browns. There's a real corally orange along with some yellow. These are little pearl beads. Let me see. And these ones make noise too in the shaker. I kind of like the shakers that make noise. Kind of gives a little extra something. So that is everything in the Fall Fun kit. Let's start by taking some pattern paper. For my card today, we are using the 6x6 Fall Fun mat stack, but I'm also going to bring in a coordinating solid mat stack. This is the Fall Fun Solids. Queen & Co. sells this separately, but all the colors in here coordinate perfectly with this, and it has beautiful fall colors in here. So these 2 are tone-on-tone pattern papers from the mat stack from the Fall Fun, and then these 4 papers here are from the Fall Fun Solids. Okay, we are going to take our die set and let's die cut out some pumpkins. I'd rather have more pumpkins than less, so we're going to take the large pumpkin and the small pumpkin, and I'm going to die cut it out a few times here. We're going to use these 2 pattern papers and also this solid one. So I'll die cut out my pumpkins here, here, and here. And then there are the pumpkin stems, so I'll die cut these out also. And then with our green paper, we have a fall leaf. I'm going to cut that out. And then I'm also going to take the little vine here, and we'll die cut out. I'm going to die cut these out several times. Okay, and then for my shaker, we're going to use the sign that actually says pumpkin patch on it. I love that this is a shaker. This is the signpost. We'll cut that out too. And what I love too is when you cut this out, it'll say pumpkin patch, and you can also change the letters of the patch to any color you want. And I'm going to use this darker red color here. So these have the letters patch. I have a little bit of die cutting to do. I'm going to run everything through my die cut machine, and then I will be right back. Once I have everything die cut, I'm going to add a little bit of shading to my pumpkins and also to my vines, to my leaves, just to give it a little bit of extra something. So any kind of ink that you have would work. I'm using my green ink and a blending brush here. I'm going to use my big one because it's handy. And all I'm going to do is just pick up a little ink, and I'm going to add some color just to one side of these leaves. just to kind of make it pop a little bit. I'm going to do that to all of these leaves. And then I'm going to take my red ink, and then for my pumpkins, I'm going to do the same thing. Just take my blending tool, and we're going to add some color. I like to do it on one side. Just kind of makes it pop a little bit, especially on the lighter orange. Just go around the edges a little bit. And then also the solid will work great. So I'm going to continue with the rest of my pumpkins and my leaves, and I will be right back. We added a little color to everything, and now we're going to take our pumpkin trunks or the stems, and all we do is add a little bit of glue to the very top, and we're going to add those to our pumpkins too. And I may not use all of these, but I just like the options that I have with the pattern papers. The small ones, of course, go on the small pumpkin. The larger one goes on the larger. Didn't take too much, but our pumpkins are all done. So I'm going to put these to the side with my leaves, and then we're going to build our shaker. This is the patch that we die cut out. This layer is actually right over the top here. I'm going to go ahead and do that. Just add little dots of glue. And you can see how it just makes it stand out. Now this piece, what I did was took some white cardstock and I just lined it up and trimmed around it to create a backing. But I do want to mention that Queen & Co. does have the outline dies for this, and they'll be listed down below if you guys are interested. Okay, I have my acetate and my foam shaker. What I'm going to do is just remove the release paper. What this does is just makes it a portable shaker, so I can place it on my card panel wherever I want it before I glue it down. Okay, now it's the fun part. We're going to actually fill it up with some of our toppings. And I'm thinking I want the blues in here. I think the blues are going to go really good with this. So I'm taking both of the blues. We'll add the darker. And then I'll go ahead and add the lighter. I think that's going to work out great. So now I'm going to remove the release paper from my foam on top. Okay, and then we have the acetate. We just adhere this. I have a little overhanging on this side, so I'm just going to trim it away. And then I'm going to use my glue, add it behind my pumpkin patch sign. I'm just going to go around the outside edge, and we're going to tack this down. And then we have the post too. I'm not sure which way I want to put it yet, so we're just going to put this to the side. And in the meantime, we're going to create our background. I like to keep this too, because you never know when this will come in handy. Size panel on my card base. So it's 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches. And then with this one, I have also a piece of the striped pattern paper, and then I also have a 1/2 inch strip of white cardstock. I'm going to add some glue to the white strip. I'm not going all the way because we're going to end up trimming this out. I'm going to add this, so about 1/4 inch is showing. And then I'm going to add some adhesive here to the top of my striped pattern paper. And I'm going to tack this down so about 1/2 inch is showing. This doesn't have to be precise. Now once all these are adhered, what I like to do is bring in my Foundations 3 die set. I use this a lot, but I do like the stitch detail on this. I'm going to take the largest rectangle in here, and then I'm going to take this, line it up in the corner. I'm going to tape it down, and then I'm going to run this through my die cut machine, and it's going to die cut out all of my layers at once. And I have stitch detail all over this panel. This panel is going to fit perfectly on the front of my card base, so I'm going to go ahead and adhere it. Before we go any further, I do want to stamp my greeting, and so I'm going to place my, I think this is a good spot for my pumpkin patch, so I'm going to stamp my greeting up here. So let's take our stamp set. I'm going to stamp, let's give them pumpkin to talk about. I think that's so cute. And our greeting is all done. I'm going to let that cool off, and then I'm going to wipe off that embossing powder. And then we can add our pumpkins and create a little scene. First I'm going to add some glue behind here. And then we're going to add this. Then I'll add some glue behind my shaker. We can add this here. This is where that foam tape comes in handy. I can actually trim a piece off. And we can add a little dimension with these two. We'll tack one over here. And we'll add one right on top of our pumpkin patch sign. I think that will be really cute. Okay, now we have our vines. I know I want a little bit of greenery over here. Now I have a pumpkin and 3 leaves left over. You can always add these to the inside if you want. I'm going to finish this card off with a little bit of highlighting. So I have a white gel pen. And I'm just going to add some reverse C's and a few dots just to highlight the pumpkin a little bit. And the leaves also. There's a lot going on in here, so I think we're going to call this good. But that's my little pumpkin patch card. Now we're going to jump in to our next card. I mentioned that we're going to make the mushrooms. So in our die set, we have the 2 mushroom shakers. I'm going to die cut out one, the taller one with my yellow. And then I'm also going to die cut out the smaller one, which is this one, with my red cardstock here. Now underneath the mushroom you have a couple of pieces, and I like that there's debossed detail on here. I'm going to just use my pattern paper. These 4 are pattern papers, and then these are from the solids. But these go under the mushroom. And then we have 2 mushroom stems. We have this piece, and then we have this piece here. I'll die cut that out with white cardstock. Now I'm going to be using the greeting in my stamp set that says sending you mush love. I think that's really cute. So I'm going to bring in a couple of hearts. I'm using my Love Foundation die set. I'm just going to use the small one here. I'm going to die cut this out with this pattern paper, and then I'm going to also use the solid here. Now with this piece, I'm going to create a background panel. Kind of want a landing area for my mushrooms. So I'm going to take this, use my scissors, I'm going to freehand a hillside. Okay, and then I'm going to bring in my Foundations 3 die set once more. This time I'm going to use the smaller. We're going to make a landscape style card for this, and I'm going to die cut out a little hillside border here. Go ahead and use the tape that's on here, and I'll tape this down, and then this way I have stitch detail around my panel. Okay, and I'm going to again die cut that heart out twice here. So I'm going to run everything through my die cut machine, and I'll be right back. Once I have everything die cut, we're going to create our background first, because we're going to layer everything, our shaker elements and everything, on this panel here. I created a panel using that same Foundations 3 rectangle die that we used to create our little hillside. That way we have stitch detail all around. I'm going to add some ink to the very bottom of this and kind of fade up. I'm going to use a turquoise ink that's almost the same color as this. I want it to kind of be subtle, but I do want a little extra something in the background. Our mushroom bottom or mushroom stems are white. I want to add a little color to these. So I'm bringing in my blending tool that has brown ink on it. I may have to bring some extra brown ink, but I'm just going to go in on the side with a little bit of blending just to turn that white a little bit darker. First off, we're going to put our little landing that we created, kind of free-handed. If you have a border die that does the same thing, you could use that. This is going to go at the very bottom. Okay, now that I have my placement, I did glue down my stems to the underside of the mushrooms. This way I know they're not going anywhere. Before I go any further, I do want to stamp my greeting. We're going to do a little bit more heat embossing, and I'm going to stamp "Sending you much love." I think that's so cute. I think this is going to go wonderful right here. Once we have this melted, I'm going to bring in my card base. Now, I trimmed down another card front panel. We're going to make a landscape card. So this is the brown gingham pattern paper. This is 5.5 inches wide, 4 1/4 inches tall. And then I also have a piece of the striped pattern paper. And this measures 5 inches by 3 3/4. Now I have my striped paper, put glue behind it. I'm going to mat this on my brown pattern paper, and then I'll glue this down to the center of this. After we have this done, now we can place our shaker. So first we're going to take our shorter mushroom. What I'm going to do is take my shaker element, I'm going to line it up on the underside of the mushroom, and I'm going to tack it down. And then this is sticky, and then I'll use my glue and add it behind the base of the mushroom and the underside. And then we could just tack this where we want this. Give it a press. And you know what? Ideally, this stem looks nice with this, and then this stem looks nice with this. I just flipped them around because I like the stems going opposite ways. So you can mix and match however you want. Now we have the inside of our shaker. Add a little glue, and we just place this on the inside. We'll do the same thing with our red mushroom. I love how easy it is to make these shakers. And I'm going to go with the color that our mushrooms are because we have the stripes and I don't want them competing. So I'm going to take my yellow shaker toppings and add that to my yellow mushroom. These are more brown, but I think they'll go better with my red mushroom. It's kind of a burgundy color. And we'll fill this in. Okay, I'm going to slowly remove the release paper, and then I can add the acetate over this mushroom. I'll do the same. I'll remove the release paper from this mushroom, and then we can add this acetate piece. And then we have the outline. I'm just going to use my glue and go around the edge. And then for just a little extra something, where I have those hearts that we cut out. And I'm thinking I'm going to do this. I'll add a little glue here. And I'll tack down this heart here. Now I'm going to bring back my white gel pen and we're going to do a little bit of highlighting. This time we're just going to do it highlighting on the hearts. And clean and simple card, but that will finish that one. Let's take a look at both cards that we made today. We made a pumpkin patch and also a sending you much love card. Those are my cards today using the Queen & Co. Fall Fun Shaker Kit. I hope you enjoyed my projects. Have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for joining me. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.